Get ready for a shocking royal shakeup today. Queen Camilla has quietly given up her title, and Catherine, better known as Kate Middleton, has stepped into the role with surprising speed. After months of whispered gossip, hallway murmurs, and a nation holding its breath, the monarchy has delivered a decision that echoes far beyond Buckingham Palace. Behind that polished communique was a scene few will ever witness. Camilla, so adept at navigating palace corridors, is said to have closed a heavy mahogany door with finality, lifted the queen consort's sash from her shoulders, and laid it on a silk-lined table. Some whisper she cited health, others claim it was a promise to the late queen finally fulfilled. Whatever the motive, her quiet retreat threw centuries of protocol into sudden flux and placed Kate's name in crisp calligraphy at the top of every briefing folder. Speculation ignited like dry tinder. Was Camilla shielding the monarchy from a looming scandal? Did private medical files force the decision? Or was it the culmination of months of internal debate about modernizing an institution, often accused of drifting too far from the people it represents? In the vacuum of hard facts, rumor thrived, and the palace PR machine spun at full tilt, determined to protect both women from conjecture too wild to print. Yet for Kate, the handover was not a coronation so much as a pivot, an abrupt advance in a journey plotted carefully over 2 decades. She emerged from a side entrance of Kensington Palace with the faintest smile, acknowledging the cameras, but refusing to play to them. Her new title, Princess of Wales, glittered across headlines like a resurrected legend, carrying the inescapable weight of Diana's memory and the promise of a gentler, more relatable crown. Diana's silhouette looms long in these corridors. She redefined philanthropy, shook hands with AIDS patients when fear still ruled, and danced across marble floors with world leaders, transforming royal engagements into moments of human connection. To inherit her title is to inherit an unfinished conversation with the public about what royalty should mean in the 21st century. A conversation Kate now must steer. Camilla had once declined the title out of respect for that very legacy, settling for Duchess of Cornwall to sidestep outrage still raw in 2005. Over time, she softened critics, yet she never eclipsed Diana's myth. By stepping back now, she avoids reopening old wounds and, in doing so, offers Kate a clear runway. Though clear doesn't mean easy. Every ribbon Kate cuts, every speech she delivers will be measured against a princess who remains eternally 36 in the public imagination. Still, Kate brings her own currency: quiet confidence, a talent for turning small talk into genuine connection, and a work ethic hardened by years of unglamorous engagements nobody bothered to broadcast. From remote Welsh villages to neonatal wards, she listened more than she spoke, building credibility one handshake at a time. When tabloids hunted for missteps, she countered with calm persistence, letting deeds, not headlines, define her. Consider her evolution. The shy freshman in a borrowed slip dress at a charity fashion show, the graduate navigating paparazzi outside supermarket doors, the royal fiancé fielding live interview questions about duty and family, the mother balancing school drop-offs with discussions on early childhood policy. Each chapter added armor. When William slipped the sapphire ring onto her finger, it was both an emblem of love and a contract with history. Carry forward what was lost, yet carve something new. Diplomatic tours soon tested that contract. In Canada, she was dubbed Queen of Hearts 2.0 as a charming veteran miners and First Nations elders with equal grace. In Malaysia, her first overseas speech, delivered in measured, heartfelt tones, signaled she would not be a silent symbol. Pakistan, Scandinavia, the Solomon Islands. Every step, every dress, every conversation stitched her more firmly into the fabric of global soft power. William's resolve fortified hers. He publicly condemned the tactics that lured his mother into a notorious interview and swore to shield his family from similar exploitation. Privately, he encouraged Kate's independent initiatives, from mental health campaigns with sports stars to groundbreaking research on early development. Their partnership, forged in the anonymity of university corridors, now serves as both ballast and beacon for a monarchy seeking relevance. Inside Buckingham's marble-lined war rooms, advisors debated optics versus tradition. Pollsters warned that Gen Z viewed the crown as an outdated pageant unless fresh substance emerged. Historians cautioned against changes too abrupt. The solution, an unprecedented handover that would crown a figure who already embodied modern ideals without tearing down the scaffolding of centuries-old ceremony. Camilla's abdication of title, once unthinkable, became the linchpin. The public response was electric. Outside palace gates, bouquets destined for Diana's old memorial piled up again, entwined with handwritten notes welcoming Princess Catherine. Twitter fluttered with side-by-side shots of Diana's landmine trek and Kate's early years conference, debating who captured the spirit of service more potently. Late-night talk shows teased that Britain had executed a corporate-style rebrand, swapping CEOs in search of a younger demographic. Yet, amid the jokes ran palpable curiosity. Will this move secure the monarchy's future or expose it? Across the Commonwealth, prime ministers scheduled emergency briefings, reading the same terse cables. Change in title succession, no constitutional crisis anticipated. In Australia, news anchors wondered aloud whether a younger, more approachable princess could stifle Republican flames that flared every election cycle. In Canada, schoolchildren asked if Kate would visit their ice rinks the way Diana once did. Caribbean nations, still weighing the symbolism of colonial history, paused constitutional debates to gauge whether a modernized monarchy could still speak to them. Because with new titles come new expectations. Kate must now straddle two worlds, guardian of royal memory and architect of its evolution. She inherits patronages linked to national identity, the arts, the military, children's health, while also being asked to champion causes resonant with a tech-savvy, climate-anxious generation. The delicate dance between pearls and podcasts, state banquets, and Instagram reels is hers to choreograph. Courtiers are already drafting agendas. A summit on sustainable fashion with leading designers, a digital roundtable with Gen Z mental health advocates, and a tour of renewable energy projects in Wales that could redefine what green royal truly means. Behind each engagement is a quiet directive from the palace. Show impact, not just presence. Measure outcomes, not just applause. If Catherine's team releases annual impact reports tracking charitable funds and policy influence, she might set a transparency precedent unknown in previous reigns. Meanwhile, Camilla's departure demands its own narrative. Insiders whisper that she will retreat to Ray Mill, the Wiltshire estate where she once found solace, focusing on literacy campaigns away from flashbulbs. Friends note that stepping aside shields her from the brutal glare of comparison and grants her a graceful epilogue. The woman who repaired public trust, then yielded the stage when a new act was ready. Historians may one day hail the move as masterful strategy, a voluntary abdication that preserved the institution by passing the torch before crisis struck. Within palace corridors, preparations accelerate for a symbolic investiture at Caernarfon Castle, echoing the ceremony that once elevated Prince Charles in 1969. Designs are drafted for simplified regalia, recycled gold thread woven into silk, floral motifs representing each UK nation, and a sash embroidered by survivors of domestic abuse, a cause close to Kate's heart. The aim is clear: tradition without opulence, pageantry grounded in purpose. Attention turns to the children too. George, Charlotte, and Louis, smiling, waving fixtures at Jubilee flypasts, suddenly sit closer to the line of succession than any modern siblings at their age. Sources confirm that William and Kate will rotate school runs, determined to shelter the trio from the whirlwind that consumed previous heirs. Yet tutors have quietly begun lessons in constitutional law, public speaking, and empathy, preparing the young royals for a world where viral clips can define a reputation faster than centuries of heraldry can repair it. Media analysts dissect polling data. Approval ratings spike as audiences cite Kate's relatability, but a parallel survey warns of brand fatigue should the monarchy rely solely on nostalgia. The takeaway ministers share in hush-hush WhatsApp chats. Catherine must be both curator of memory and curator of momentum, fusing legacy with forward motion in every televised step. Economists weigh in, noting that royal tourism revenue surged 20% after the announcement, yet cautioning that soft power influence, trade deals, cultural exchange, diplomatic goodwill, matters even more in a post-Brexit landscape. Catherine's first solo state visit may therefore aim strategically at an emerging market giant where both innovation and tradition hold sway, signaling the UK's future under a princess who talks climate financing and early years mental health in the same breath. Back home, Republican MPs table petitions for a referendum, arguing that an unelected role, no matter how modern, cannot define a 21st century democracy. Royalists counter with images of Catherine comforting bereaved children, a gesture that generates more goodwill than any speech delivered at Westminster. The debate grows louder, yet the palace remains silent, confident that deeds will speak louder than manifestos. Inside St. James's, senior aides convene a miniature privy council, plotting legislative fine print. Will Camilla keep Her Majesty's styling in private correspondence? What precedence should Catherine have over senior dukes at state openings of Parliament? How will the line of succession appear in official prayer books? Each arcane decision carries PR consequences in the age of instantaneous leaks, so drafts circulate under code names: Operation Spring Dawn, Project New Scroll. Meanwhile, William steps onto center stage. His speeches grow steelier, his posture more decisive. Behind closed doors, he pushes for mental health policy reforms, citing veterans' testimonies collected during Invictus events. Unlike previous princes of Wales, he now has a partner wielding equal symbolic heft. Together, they redefine the royal double act. He tackles structural issues. She humanizes them through families and frontline workers, a synchronized strategy meant to resonate across political aisles. Cameras capture a telling moment. Kate, wearing a simple emerald coat recycled from a 2014 engagement, strides past the Victoria Memorial to lay a wreath marking National Windrush Day. Her words, brief and unadorned, honor immigrants' contribution to modern Britain. Commentators note that the address, drafted largely by Catherine herself, signals a monarchy ready to confront historical complexities rather than sidestep them. Across Britain's living rooms, grandparents who remember Elizabeth's coronation now watch alongside grandchildren whose first memories of the royals are TikTok clips and mental health podcasts. Those younger viewers, raised on authenticity and lightning-fast news cycles, will judge Catherine not by her tiaras, but by concrete progress. School breakfast programs, greener patronage tours, transparent budgets. If she can translate symbolism into measurable change, turning balcony waves into boardroom pledges, she may convert skeptics into stakeholders and transform hereditary prestige into earned trust. Internationally, Commonwealth Republic debates simmer. Barbados cut ties in 2021, Jamaica signals intent, and Australia's referendum drums beat faintly in the distance. Catherine's strategic outreach, a promise to listen before lecturing, to collaborate rather than command, could tip the balance. Her aides draft listening tour formats that prioritize local activists over elite galas, determined to let community voices guide royal resources. Within this swirl of innovation, Camilla's quieter chapter unfolds in parallel. Her literacy initiative partners with virtual reality developers to create immersive storybooks for children with dyslexia. She records audiobooks in her Wiltshire study, her voice warm yet resolute. Though cameras are rarer now, an occasional photograph shows her hands still adorned with the same wedding band, a silent testament that stepping back was a duty, not a divorce. Inside Windsor's archives, librarians unlock cedar-scented crates filled with Diana's correspondence, preparing a curated exhibit on compassion in public life. Catherine personally selects a handwritten letter in which Diana described her hope that kindness might one day be the crown's greatest jewel. The letter will sit beside a display of Catherine's childhood sketches, drawing a line between past aspirations and present possibilities. Meanwhile, a task force convenes to modernize the royal warrant system, exploring whether brands awarded the coveted crest must meet sustainability targets. Catherine insists that royal endorsements reflect ethical supply chains and carbon-neutral practices. Centuries-old parchment scrolls may soon be replaced by QR codes linking to transparency dashboards, a move sure to ruffle traditionalists yet thrill eco-conscious consumers. The UK press, sensing a zeitgeist shift, recalibrates its coverage. Political columnists debate whether Catherine's approach constitutes soft constitutionalism, influence wielded through empathy rather than edict. Fashion editors chronicle her repeated outfits as case studies in sustainable style. Sports writers, intrigued by her backyard football matches with George and Charlotte, muse on the psychological impact of relaxed parenting on future monarchs. Still, the opportunity is historic. By embracing vulnerability where protocol once dictated distance, by amplifying evidence-based solutions over ceremonial platitudes, Kate could redefine royal influence for a century that prizes authenticity above hierarchy. If she succeeds, the monarchy will not just survive. It will resonate anew, echoing through classrooms and clinic halls in places her predecessors never imagined. So, where does that leave us now? A crown rebalanced, a consort retired, a princess reborn, a monarchy perched between nostalgia and necessity, its next chapter inked in Catherine's poised handwriting. The cameras have clicked, the flags have waved, but the real work begins in the hush that follows collective gasp. And that, dear viewers, is where you come in. Do you believe Catherine can carry Diana's torch without being consumed by its flame? Is Camilla's retreat a noble sacrifice or a clever strategy? What should the modern monarchy look like in your eyes? Scroll down, share your thoughts, ignite the conversation, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss the next twist in this living, breathing royal saga. Thanks for watching. Until next time.